Streaming. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. We work overnight, so streaming is hard, but we're here. And for those that are watching this on YouTube, welcome to the video. We are doing a Sky Orphans prep session today, and we're really just working on NPC backgrounds and story directions, or base story directions, because in season 2, season 2 of Sky Orphans, which is what we're prepping right now, basically we're leaving it up to them to whose story that we're going to really focusing on season 2, giving them these little opportunities of being like, okay, so this is the information you have on your story, this is the information you have on your story, this is the information you have on your story, and this is the information you have on your story. Now all get together, discuss what you want to deal with first, because all of them are going to be problems regardless. So our job is to throw these hooks out there and deal and work on the backgrounds for these NPCs that are going to have a significant impact in Everhold, which is going to be our main hub of season 2, since we're doing a 2-year skip, and with that 2-year skip they have acquired a hold, and we're working on NPCs, backgrounds, and stories that will help them with their certain adventures. Like we have a Duragar, which I really want to get into her background, because she would be like a key element to maybe like either travel along or give information about the Underdark to our characters, because they wouldn't really know about the Underdark if they were planning on traveling there, quote unquote. That's why she's there, to give that information. There could be more to her, there could be not. We would have to figure that out. That was just a prime example of what I would be doing, or the kind of prep we would be doing today. Which means that just like you would do for your PC as a player character, us as the DMs have to do that for the NPCs as well, because next thing you know, there's an NPC that you really like that we only have base details on and you would like to know more on. And then that somehow that NPC becomes like a main focus to the story or one of the characters' story. So if they want to know more, we have to have that ready for them. Prime example is Critical Role. He throws out so many NPCs. Some of them have stories, some of them don't. Most of them do because it's Matt Mercer. But prime example of they talk to a lot of these different characters. They talk to a character becomes a huge part of their story. He has a background already ready for them. He already has it like in front of their faces. It's just called prep, and prep is not easy. DM prepping is actually rather hard. That's why most people, when they do this, they are pretty passionate about Dungeons and Dragons and about DMing in general. So that's what we're doing. We're here to do what is fun for us, which technically is hard, but also fun. So the fun element's there. So couple of elements that you can see on the screen. We have our normal Sky Orphans thing or setting, but we also have pixel images that it's technically to the left, but I am pointing right, but this is the left, that are like right here.
The direction that you're pointing in.
Yeah, exactly.
The one that they know.
Yeah, you'll see it because I'm pointing in the right direction according to you guys.
Exactly.
So we have Forkai, we have Jade Fist in pixel form, and we're going to have everybody as well. These are just the 2 that are going to be shown at the moment to represent the kind of like the Octopath Traveler sprites. For those who are new to our channel and just new in general, the world that we are playing in Sky Orphans is based off of Orstera, that is in Octopath Traveler, and we just call it Orsterna because it's a lot easier for our brains, and it's just, that's how we do it.
Also copyright.
Yeah, also copyright. We don't want to get into those little terms, but mostly because of that. We call it Orsterna because it's like our variation of the world. But also to the left, on the top, you can see the notes screen as well. The notes that we're going to be writing on typical or on these little excavations that we're doing, or like explanations if necessary for us to remember them. But This is why we're here. Some of these NPCs, we have like races for them, but they could be completely different things. We don't know. We basically decided, let's go ahead and put some characters to roles, and then kind of be done with the day because we had a lot of NPCs to do. But we have a lot of stories to focus on, a lot of BBGs to focus on, and lastly, if you are one of our players and you are watching this, do not watch this. You're going to ruin it for yourselves.
They'll fight you.
I'm not going to get into any other things regarding the story, so please stop. This is spoilers for you as a player, so don't do it.
And we'll fight you.
It's not fun
And we'll fight
to
you.
be spoiled of this. Yeah, we know you, so we'll reprimand you
We're gonna
somehow.
change everything up on the
We-
fly.
I mean,
You're
like,
not gonna understand nothing.
You're
Oh,
literally,
man.
we literally will. You think we're joking? We're not. We will. If we know you watch this, which is very easy to know if you watch this, we are going to change things up because Dungeons and Dragons is ever flowing.
Oh yeah.
So it's very easy for us to change things up.
You
for you.
thought you had a walkthrough, huh?
So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into our prep. So first things first, let's look at the first NPC that we plan on working on, and we have a female Durgar named Longrock. That's what you named her, Longrock? You named her Longrock? Is that what? I don't know. Did we
I don't
name her?
know.
Yeah, Longrock. Why did we name her Longrock?
I don't think I did.
Did I name her
I
Longrock?
think so.
Why would I name her Longrock? Let's come up with a different name already, because I don't like the name Longrock. Me saying it, yeah, you could remember it, and that's the whole point, right? You want your characters to remember names. So saying names that are a lot easier for people to remember is slightly important,
Yeah.
but that's not the point here. So you're not really seeing our screens. We're doing research, but we'll basically be talking to you as though you are seeing the screen.
Yay.
So, hope you guys enjoy the stream. We have a little bit of background music playing on the other screen. And let's have some fun doing some prep for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay.
So, there are
that.
Durgar names. For those who use a lot of
Unless we use the
fantasy
name
names.
generator and that's where we got the name from.
we probably did. That's
If
the thing.
anything, that would make sense.
Prettiest female Durgar names. What the kind of, what website am I on?
You're at prettiestfemaledurgarnames.com.
Honora, which is not easy to remember, but I like the name. Ravilla? Long Durgar names.
Wait, hold on. Larilla?
Ravilla, which is playful.
Okay.
Apparently.
Oh.
I don't know what language this is. If they're
I'm
actually
assuming-
taking actual Dwarvish, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who
but
knows?
Glorgana is a Durgar name for the girl's name Gloria.
They're just probably making up their own shit.
It could be, and I
It
don't
could be.
mind. I don't mind that. It's just I would rather.
Dolga.
Dolga's a really good name. Helga.
Because we had Helga. We had Helga as a character before.
Who's Helga?
Helga was...
I
No.
don't remember the name.
It was from our Fire Emblem campaign. Yeah.
I did use the word Helga. That's because it's easy to remember.
Yeah, I
you
know.
guys remember Helga.
I was thinking Helga too as well.
Oh, that's what we should do. We should just do Let's go with like Norway names or Norwegian fantasy names.
Oh.
Fantasy name generator. Everyone goes to this for a reason. Female. Hilda.
It makes sense.
I like Hilda.
Evie.
They're so pretty. I like the language. I like the language.
Kathleen. Lisbeth. Bonehead.
Mona.
Yevon.
I didn't know Mona was Norwegian. I guess that makes sense.
It's also fantasy at the same time, so it's like a fusion of both.
I like Mona, but that's an easy name for me to remember. That doesn't mean that's an easy name for other people to remember.
Coraline.
I mean,
Vivek.
it's not a hard name to remember because people remember
No, look at the
Coraline.
movie, yeah. No.
Or Coraline in general. Bjorg. Bjorg.
Borg.
That's a good dwarf name.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
I like a good male dwarf name named Bjorg.
Benedict.
Bjorg. Eli. These are female.
Lila.
Is Eli a female name? I guess it could be.
Can be. Marianne.
Let's go with Viking, I guess.
Gunhild.
It was a Viking name generator.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you know how to pronounce those, right?
Let's try. Yeah, I could pronounce Dota.
Yes. Do you say the A and the E together? Astrid?
Astrid.
Astrid.
Gunvor. Oh no, I'm gonna butcher this and it's gonna be terrible. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. We should stop while we're behind.
Yeah.
Dagmar. Dagmar. It's pretty easy.
Daymade. That's it.
That's all you got. Generated 5.
I guess you have to generate it again.
Land.
Civ.
Civ.
Hell. Oda.
Helga, which is so good. It's such a good name. It's so easy to remember.
Yeah, it is. That's why we had it. That's why I remembered it. You know, I don't remember names.
Yeah.
Hilda. Saga actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, let's go with that. I can remember that. Saga. Saga. We're renaming her Saga because Long Rock is a silly name. They probably could remember it, but that's not the point.
Saga.
Now, we had already rolled for positive traits and negative traits. So, we can go into all that other kind of stuff at a later date. But this is the Sky Orphans researcher and bookkeep. So, she's essentially like a librarian. But not only that, she just goes and she does research.
Research on what, Kato?
We can do monster
Did we have one dedicated to that already? I feel like we had a monster researcher specifically.
I don't think we did.
Unless that was her.
It was probably her. But let's look.
Too many notes.
I made a lot of notes for it because these are.
Yeah, we had a bestiaries person specifically, I think.
Did we?
I believe so.
I don't believe.
Unless she was both. Like we were saying.
I believe she was both, but let me look. NPC rules, there we go. We didn't like have a bestiary kind of person. No, she was that. That's what
I guess she was both.
That's what the researcher does. The researcher, basically, because it was the monster parts. Exactly. If they have like monster parts that they need to be identified, or they have like certain creatures that they didn't understand, or if they wanted to have someone that potentially come along with them on like these mini things, not like major quests by any means, but to help with figuring out certain situations above. She's like a world traveler.
Yeah, like we come across, like a cryptozoologist, basically.
Mm-hmm. Important details to know. There was a reason why I had this in here because I did not actually. Sorry, I need to actually give you or get the picture that I made on this custom thing. Real quick. Did I save it? I know I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got this, bro. I believe in you.
There's a lot.
Yeah, bro.
There's a lot.
You got mad things.
That's what happens when you have a phone that can carry all of it.
Yeah, I got a phone that can carry like a tune, and that's pretty much it.
Tunes are nice.
Yeah, no, they're really out there, spectacular and shit.
No.
You gotta scroll past.
Did I fucking save it?
That's a good question. Unless
I
it's
did.
still there.
I did save it.
Does it have a name?
No, they never have names.
Image 2082. Oh. I got a long boo boo over here.
What kind of boo boo?
I don't know. I think I probably just scratched myself. I got long nails.
There we go. I found it.
Got big fat nails. Mr. Butters.
I guess I didn't find it. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, see, there you go, bro.
I need to save this picture. So I need to save as. Sorry, we're doing a lot of background work.
Yeah,
sorry.
bro.
I don't know if I could place this in a note, so I'm not. I'm just gonna D&D. I should be able to actually just show you the picture by putting it on stream, so I'll do that. But other than that, what's her name again? Saga. Saga. There we go. So I see. I'm already doing. I'm remembering it.
Saga. You gotta say Saga, because you always have to say their names like that.
Into Saga.
Saga.
No, that's not the way she fucking do, bro.
Whoa, damn, bro. What the fuck? What the heck? What the hell? What the hell?
I don't think you understood what you even just said there, so you can stop.
Yeah, I said, what the heck? What the
Alright, so we'll show you the picture
of Saga.
The one I made, quote unquote, or just used with this software.
That's the same thing, kiddo. You gotta chill out.
Essentially.
Saga.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
There's no easy import? Or is it easy import button OBS?
Whatever, I'll just...
Saga.
That's the scene. Guess I'll just have to do it the stupid way.
Saga.
Which is fine. Not complaining. Just complaining a lot.
Oh, he's complaining, guys.
All files. Where's Saga?
Saga. I think you put her in another thing.
Where else would I have put her? Now here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. One more time. Everybody's Saga. Fine.
You would just think, right? You would just think it would just put it there.
Yeah. Potential NPCs.
Yeah, I was in the right spot.
Saga.
You're in the right spot, you said, you dumb.
There Saga is.
Okay.
Saga. There's Saga. Oh. Saga.
I can put her in a weird spot on screen.
Yeah, honestly, she's kind of like she's with us at that point. Saga, can you hear me?
So yeah, this tiny one down here, since it's a PNG, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's Saga,
Saga.
or at least the base concept I have for her. She got short. She has cut her hair off, so she has this portions of where her original beard was that she has taken off, and she used to have long hair, and she's cut that off. Why she did that, I have no reason. It's just a unique trait that I thought that we could put on her. Outfit's not really important. We can figure that out on a later date. We just need to have a background for her. So first things first, why did she cut off all her hair? I don't know yet. Why would she cut off her hair? Most likely because she doesn't want to be attached to her original. Maybe she wants to be more human. Maybe that's a concept we can go with. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, she could have. It could be something more simple. She got into a fight where they used her hair against her as a weapon.
Like grabbed her beard?
Yeah. And so, in order to not have that mistake happen again, she cut it off. I mean, that's like when you're in like military. You like when you're in military and they give you a buzz cut. That's the reason why they give you a buzz cut in general. So you don't have long hair, so that someone can hold on to.
True. I get that portion. I understand that, so that might actually be something. Man, my brain. It's not that serious, but it's serious for me.
Saga.
Put her in the middle, fuck it. Okay, so Saga, she has Also, one thing that what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to connect these like stories that have happened between 2 years on how these important NPCs have been
Introduced to us.
introduced and how the Sky Orphans have either a hired them or B come across them and basically say, hey, we
Outsourced
have
them.
something like yeah, because we're gonna have to do that with the Rock Sasha for sure because that is a creature that is insane. But Durgar are the Durgar in this world uh, really aren't common. The Durgar that have the dwarves with dark skin aren't really common. Normal dwarves or even the jade dwarves necessarily are they're common, but the jade dwarves are more common than Durgar. So it's weird to see one with dark skin.
So how is their culture in this world? Is it changed to adapt to Orsterna, or is it carried over from what they were used to? Because this is a new world to them,
Cool.
so it's more like this. They get a fresh start, essentially speaking. So they could be big old assholes, and be oppressive like they normally are, or regularly they could be kind of more like Osterians. I mean, they kind of they live in their territory, so it's just essentially speaking, the Underdark just got expanded. That's literally what happened. Like the Underdark was like over here in Faerun, where it was just separate.
It's weird because
and then all of a sudden, just like
with the connections that we have brought,
yeah,
it's just like everything expands. It's literally every dimension expands.
yeah.
So it's just it's a
Because the
lot.
Feywild is a reflective of Faerun, so therefore, all of a sudden in the Feywild,
Because
another Osterna just popped up too.
literally this is just another country that is literally popped up in Faerun. So that now being a part of Faerun means it's now part of Faerun.
Yeah.
So it's just cool. It's just cool that that when you think about it, there's so many different things because like even with the Underdark thing, I was literally talking about or thinking about doing not necessarily the exact opposite, right? But maybe going a different route with like Drow just in general. Maybe these Drows aren't necessarily bad guys, just survivalists. And with this whole thing of when they go down into the Underdark and have to deal with whatever they're dealing with, right? Because when most of the time when they're dealing with the BBG or they're dealing with one of the big guys that they have to deal with in each one of these stories, they probably have to travel to a different plane, or they either have to go somewhere that they have never gone before. And Dungeons and Dragons, most homebrew campaigns and just in general, they like to fuck with the Underdark, and we're no exception to it. We like the Underdark. It's fun. It's interesting. Our first AC2 High series was literally just we were playing Drow, so we like the Underdark. So I think it would just make sense for us to eventually go down there as a group. So developing a society as well.
So these Durgars would essentially fresh start.
Yeah, I think
Fresh start Durgars.
I think that at least this one in general, we can start with one and then kind of because literally, even when you're talking about like a clan, right, or we're talking about a society or a city, you start with one person all the time. You always start with one person and then you kind of expand into others. So
At the same time, it's like for me, like Chevy was the first time we've ever seen a Yuan-Ti in D&D altogether. We've never used Yuan-Ti as enemies. We've never used Yuan-Tis as PCs before until Chevy was introduced, and then I did a little bit of research, found out what their regular nature is, and they're brutal and evil. They're just the worst kind of people we could ever run into. So it's just like for now, it's like so. Were these Durgar? Was everything born here, or have they migrated over to us? And I guess that's the real question of where we start with that.
The problem is that I feel like this world, or at least this country, is very much not necessarily very racist, but like they're just taken off guard by things that, because it's just so new to them. Even when dwarves and elves like were first introduced, or just like were like as a concept just in general to them, it was off-putting as well. So with all these new races happening at once and all these new things, I just think naturally as like human beings, not to say that it's right or wrong, we're taking that out of the equation. I think that they just don't understand.
Don't understand like as in curiosity, or don't understand as like burn them with fire?
It depends on the humans, right?
And I think that's where, once again, like, since we're looking back at the whole calling orcs monsters and, you know, drow monsters, I think that's kind of where all this came from, really.
I mean, like, that's...
Now that we think about it, you know, when you bring it back down to that level.
Because...
that's...
Yeah, I mean, if we're going down to that level, yeah for sure. But it's still not okay at the end of the day. Yeah. But you're right for sure.
It's realistic at the same
time. It's realistic. That's the whole point of why it was there to begin with. Doesn't mean it should have been there. That's why it was there.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just such a sticky situation with that. Regardless, determining... Okay, first of all, let's pull up a map. I think one thing that we should probably do is pull up a map real quick and then determine areas and where certain things are, and then looking on the map we can determine like Durgar themselves.
I mean, because for the most part, a lot of the area is canyon-like. Well, I mean, that's the majority of what
Orstera is.
Yeah, it's like made of mostly canyons.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting terrain to build upon, because it's not something we usually use.
Yeah.
We usually use grassy plains and hills. Never really this much rocky terrain. I mean, it's literally just rocks upon rocks upon rocks.
Which makes it a lot easier for us to develop it. That's why when I was thinking about it and thinking about maybe doing it in this world, it's so easy to develop a world that is in the future, not necessarily future, but like that is advanced to
in the fantasy setting,
an advanced fantasy setting of this world. Because when you look at,
it's not Ravnica, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit less than that.
Yeah, it's like half.
Speaking of that, actually, then since we're doing a 2-year skip, how much has technology changed?
Oh Jesus, I don't know.
That's then now the other thing is like, is there an arms race?
An arms race?
Arms race meaning, is there anyone building military tech and testing? Because remember, we had the military testing that we never got to do, which was just simple rocks, boulders.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago, though. Now that they've completed all that testing, have they gone up to something like condensing and harnessing magic into glyphs, essentially speaking, and using those and propelling those
like a mage army?
Yeah.
Yikes, that's scary to think about.
It is, but the thing is that they literally saw 2 gargantuan creatures fighting, 2 kaijus fighting and destroying half of a forest and nearly leveling an entire city.
Yeah, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a case. Like, they probably would have, we would just have to determine that matter.
Yeah, 2-year skip it causes a lot of increase.
Yeah, which is fun, but at the same time, you'd have to think about like
what implications that have.
Either that or we just make rolls, which is very easy to do. But that's going to be us determining what those roles are and what they mean.
Yeah.
But regardless, we're going to go ahead and what was I thinking of? Because about the map.
So let's go back to what we were doing.
Okay, so
this lady.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler. Because I was thinking about the lands. Because one thing else we have to think about is that each one of these have a leader now. There's a leader, there's a city that is a leader, and we have to take those into account. So, not to say that we're going to do all of those right now, but If we're thinking about things, we need to think about the current leader in this area of Everhold, since we're just bringing that back essentially. So
Isn't that not us?
Everhold is like somewhere over here. I don't remember.
That's where we're stationed, correct?
Yeah, that's where you guys would be.
Yeah, so would we
Oh, it's over
be
here.
later?
Yeah.
Or leaders?
We could be. That should be fine. I'm alright with Jadefist being the leader here in Everhold. That's not, or at least in the area. We just have to remember what area it is, because they all literally separate into different regions.
Yeah.
Frostlands, Flatlands, Closelands, Highlands, Sunlands, Riverlands, Clifflands, and Woodlands. So I'm okay with him essentially being crowned the leader here.
Does it have when you click on it?
No, there's not. This is just what I'm establishing, because it's a lot easier for it to, because it's not going to tell you a leader of certain things.
No, I'm saying if it will tell us which area resides in.
Oh, this is Clifflands.
Oh, okay.
This is Clifflands. And even if that's the case, all I'll have to do is just click this and be like, okay, where's Stera? And then it tells me the regions. I don't know why they changed it to the Japanese one, because I'm sure it's because of the mobile game, but I digress.
Yeah, you digress.
So, yeah, Highlands. So these are just like, this is a base. So Everhold would...
Okay, so it's in the Highlands. Okay.
Yeah, so we can easily make Everhold and Jadefist a leader, or one of the leaders of this, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 8 different lands, which means 8 different leaders. And then there's a lot to establish with 8 different leaders.
We're pretty much making 8 towns.
Mm-hmm. 10 towns, except it's 8 lands. you take it from 10 towns to 8 lands.
8 lands.
Making it bigger, essentially. So, yep, that's easy for my brain. I'm okay with that. And we also have to think about, like, when we have to improv and think about other things in different cities, because there would be plenty of different cities. It wouldn't just be 3 or 4. We obviously would make it bigger, and we would have to think about that on a later date. But like we said, the reason why I wanted to think about that is because most of these characters, or these characters that are like NPCs, while they can come from different lands, it would make sense for them to come from the land that
they reside in.
So, if we're thinking about the Underdark being, well, depending on which portion of the Underdark we're going to be using.
Well, really, the Underdark is just the
Everywhere.
underlayer. Yeah, I mean, it could literally be underneath the water.
Yeah.
For all we know, I mean, there's
I thought that was interesting, because you literally do that with anything.
Yeah.
You can do that with the Abyss as well.
Exactly.
Literally, you can put anything anywhere, and it would technically make sense because it's not a part of that material plane.
Yeah, I mean, but in general, once you go underneath the ground, underneath the surface, you can literally continue from here and say, you know, you reached here and boom, you're still in the Underdark, technically.
Yeah.
The Underdark stretches throughout, as long as there is earth crust there,
Yeah.
the Underdark is there.
Exactly. Exactly. So, thinking about things, Clifflands really aren't developed anyway, so...
Yeah, I mean, unless we're not expanding territory, right? We're just keeping what we have.
This is just convenient, which means that we could have it where the Clifflands were essentially kind of like barren to the most part. Granted, there was a couple of cities, and maybe their leader was kind of like just there to be there, essentially. And seeing that there was an opportunity to pass that shit on pretty quickly, like, please, you can have it. We need a strong leader, and maybe the previous leader was weak. And that was where Jadefist and the Sky Orphans come in, and he gets a position of power. When we start, it's not going to be like, oh my god, he's been in a position of power for so fucking long. It would be essentially like, okay, we've had this for maybe about a few months, if that, depending on how we're doing it. I'm assuming that's probably going to make sense, because the whole point is to, if we're going to develop this into something of an army or a group that can fend off against when the orphan god comes, and eventually makes his staking claim onto this world itself. What do we plan on doing? See, the orphan god himself has promised some portions of this lands to these areas, essentially pretty much being like, okay, I rule this entire place, and then if you guys help me, you guys get these lands.
Because I mean, essentially speaking, because the thing is that citizens are going to ask this as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, what happens when they attack, and then we're really not going to have an answer because we don't freaking know.
That's our job,
Yeah.
to figure out what's happening, how to stop it, and then informing our people on how to essentially deal with the problem. And that's not easy, and it's insanely hard. That's why leadership positions, and that's why kings and lords already have a hard enough time. That's especially, let's say you're watching Game of Thrones or something like that. Those guys have it rough. Even the fucking small child asshole.
So I mean, do we want to drop right now NPC building and start world building?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
I mean,
there's a lot of things we have to do.
I mean, if then we would just condense it and not think about that stuff right now.
It's just a lot to
for
think
this
about.
portion, and then we just go to NPC building.
True.
Because if we get too far off track, we're going to keep talking and not really get to anything.
True, you're not wrong. It has been 36 minutes, and we've introduced the Durgar. That's what she looks like.
Yeah, she's right
so
here.
we do
Yeah,
we do have to establish Durgar whereabouts, or at least, as she did come from the Underdark, just where in the Underdark she came from. So it can easily be like a city underneath the Highlands, for all we know. We don't have to go too complicated with this.
Because I mean, at that point, we could have burrows inside of the mountains, because that's what, Duragar. I mean, not even just Duragar, but dwarves in general. They also live inside the burrows of mountains. So they essentially, if there is a hole or an entrance or a cave entrance, they usually go and they excavate it. That's why they're good at mining and everything. So they go and they clear out, a certain amount of space. In 2 years, you're able to clear out multiple areas easily with the big group or large numbers. And that's all you're doing. You hire out kobolds, you hire out goblins.
Yeah, and the other that's why it was easy for them to have pretty much have a weird stake in Tin Towns as well. So
yeah,
even though they really didn't have it, it just their presence was obvious.
Yeah, so you mine out a freaking burrow in one of the mountains, because there are many.
Yeah.
There's literally multiple mountains that they can live in that have good enough structure. Because based on what I'm looking at, they have very good structural integrity.
This will be the first Durgar that they've ever met, but clearly she fed a role, and they're learning more about her. But the whole thing is just, where did she come from? So, like you said, there can easily have been a portion dug out from the Underdark that has recently appeared, and she was one of the few people to come out. Or, if we want to go more complicated with that, she can have been a world traveler, which would make sense for a researcher and one of the few Durgar to ever really go out, and just in general.
So is she more of a scientist?
Scientist? Because researchers are like monster researchers. They're
Cryptozoologists, they usually nerdy, but they have capabilities of defending themselves if necessary, which is how they are able to get whatever carcasses or anything like that they need. Or they're just scavengers and they just ask people to get stuff for them. But seeing as how she got into a tussle, it could have just been with another Durgar. So not necessarily have to been like a monster or a creature or anything like that. If she's not an upfront fighter or anything like that, she's not able to handle a hit, then she would just be, okay, I send you out, you get this information, I research at home, I do my studies, I have books upon books upon books, essentially speaking.
Yeah, I think that actually might make more sense in my brain, instead of us going like, oh my gosh, she's been all over the place. because it would be cool to kind of have her as like if she decides to go on these certain missions or maybe because at this point our ship is huge. It's not even going to be like the one that like the big size that it was originally. Giovanni would be expanding on it, having more rooms. This would be more like a blimp.
It's like a hotel.
Like a hotel.
You literally
like it would literally be like a traveling hotel, which is kind of dope. Except it functions as like this traveling ship that we're on, which I think is really cool. So it's not hard to have certain NPCs join us at any time and have them explore and learn about the world. It would be really cool to basically have more than one readily available for them as well.
All right. So this lady, she essentially speaking, she was the big nerd of the Duergar groups. Most of the Duergar didn't appreciate that styling of use of her hands and her. You know, they want to see people working all the time. She was probably treated especially well by the Mind Flayers because she had the nerdy aspect to her. So, essentially speaking, if these were Duergar that were enslaved fully for their duration of their life by Mind Flayers, when you're dealing with other Duergars with the same mentality, and you have one that is thinking outside of the box, that becomes problematic for the ones who do not enjoy the fact that they're being treated like shit and the other one and she's being treated like a saint. So special privileges equaled bullying. That's how she lost her hair.
Okay. And she wears her hair short because she looks
exactly. She doesn't want the same situation to happen again.
And she doesn't know us, so
exactly.
This is already her taking a risk. Okay, I like that. Where came from Underdark?
Mesobezaran.
You literally we could create our own thing, so I don't fucking Mesobezaran.
Mesobezaran.
That's where from though. He was from Mesobezaran.
Mesobezaran.
Doth.
Mesobezaran.
Famous drow.
Darth ain't famous. He's famous among 5 people.
Came from the Underdark and the Highlands. Alright. And the reason why I have it like this is that way you can still see it on screen because I have limited
space
for you guys. So that's our who, that's our where. We need our when, which is easy.
When, like 2 years ago. Or more than that, because we've already.
Well, the thing is, just like would she be? I don't think we would have this hold for a year, 2 years. How long did we have this hold? I was thinking about starting it after maybe about 3 months of us having it, or something like that.
Well, it'll be like, when did we discover it to begin with? Okay, so we finish.
Let me see if that was sent in text, but continue what you're saying.
Okay. So we literally destroyed the last remnants of Sethith. It created this huge burst. People were emotional. Kaladin passed away. What are we doing with ourselves at this point? Are we sad or happy? Are we able to get through it? Are we drinking a lot? We're probably not, honestly, spending a lot of time doing what we need to do. We're probably not really pushing ourselves at this point.
Especially when we don't know what we're really doing.
No. We probably, for, I would say, at least a good month, fucking off.
Yeah.
Fighting amongst ourselves constantly. Arguing and bickering. To one day, maybe, it could even be the fact that Eldeth sent us a location that has been abandoned. You got a vision, prophecy, some type of foretelling, and then we were basically nudged in that direction. And on top of that, we have an extensive networking as well, because we have the Red Jennies.
Yep.
Or not the Red Jennies.
Yeah. You're thinking of Dragon Age.
Exactly. Which now, why do I remember it now when I didn't remember it before?
It's a good ass question, but you know, now you're a joke.
The Scarlets. We have the Scarlets. We also have, the fact that I'm a Grinner. So we have those two networks available to us that are able to essentially find out information and scout. That's the main thing. Scouting is very huge amongst our group.
And that's where she comes in.
Yeah.
Like, with these NPCs, granted, could we have maybe like one, possibly two, that were there previously working for whoever was previously Lord? Potentially. And it would not be an Everhold. Like this, we would probably have it like their original Lord was like in Stoneguard, or because Cobblestone was. We don't talk about Cobblestone.
Yeah,
no. Cobblestone was god dang. It would be in Stoneguard, and maybe one of them is from Stoneguard, and we can determine who is that from, and brought over to Everhold to work with the new Lord.
Exactly.
So. We can do that, but I think we can easily make that unique for one of them. I think it would be really fun for us to come up with these adventures that happen within these 2 years of us uniquely coming across them. It doesn't have to be epic or grand. Be like, oh my god, there was a dragon fight and we were protecting this Duragar that was about to be eaten. You don't have to be like that. It could just be as simple.
Okay, you can't mention that and just say
it did sound cool, right? But that's the whole. It doesn't have to be that.
We can have one or two of those thrown in there, spice it up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because I already have like an idea. Because the Rakshasha is what we're going to be doing next, which is going to be really fun. Because he's going to be major. Like a major player in this a major NPC that is supposed to be working forever.
They don't have genders.
Yeah, they do.
No, they're just Rakshasas. They can be whatever they want to be.
Rakshasas are males, and there's Rakshashis.
Oh.
I think that's what they're called. There's literally a species for like the female.
My God.
All Rakshasas are males, technically.
Oh, that's interesting. They got big old wings, huh?
Yeah, weirdly enough. But the Rakshasa lore is way too deep in D&D, which makes it more interesting for us to create our unique one. Sorry, once again, we're getting distracted. My ADHD is coming in hard. So, we're talking about this lady, right? Well, how did we come across this lady? I know we talked about her coming...
From Stoneguard?
Yeah,
it's really fun to like take
not necessarily from Stoneguard. She doesn't necessarily have to be that NPC from Stoneguard unless you feel like that fits her character. Do you think it fits her character?
The other thing would be that she heard there was a really interesting, weird creature, which is
creature?
Chevy.
What would make him a weird creature? The fact that he was a snake?
Yeah. That's nice, because I go against the mold. I go against the mold of what a Yuan-Ti is, and she's probably seen a Yuan-Ti that is just nothing but evil incarnate, and that's what she's used to. She knows as a cryptozoologist that these things are just deadly. And then you have this one who's entertaining people, putting on shows and plays. And then we also have the Shatter Kai, and then we have the Jade Dwarf.
Well, Shatter Kai...
And then we actually have a very large mix of
we have
otherworldly creatures. Yeah.
We have a very unique cast, which makes it fun because not everyone has to be there all the time because we have that big cast.
And Veldikins don't technically...
They don't
exist. They don't exist in Faerun. They exist in Ravnica.
Yeah, and I was doing my research on Veldikin, and Veldikin are just like... What I've realized with Magic the Gathering and Ravnica is that it's so
their lore is definitely
God.
deep-seated.
It's like how am I supposed to wrap my head around what?
Because think about it,
happening
they've had multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So each card editions that they come out with, each pack that they come out with,
they come up with new lore,
Exactly.
which is.
They actually have lore for cards, bro.
I can't.
Like, think about that.
I can't. It's like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. I can't.
But better. But good.
Yeah.
Sorry, but good.
What do you mean? Yu-Gi-Oh lore is really good.
If they didn't have a fucking show, there would be nothing. These are all based on cards. Only cards.
What? I don't believe you. Keep it on track. Sorry, my ADHD is really high in gear, so my brain's everywhere, which is good and also bad at the same time. So focus on the Durgar lady. How do we come across her?
Like I said, I mean, we literally have the monster group that go against what they're supposed to be. Like I said, we have a jade dwarf. She's never seen one of those.
Yeah.
Once again, jade dwarves,
She's only been out of the Underdark
Yeah.
for maybe about 2 months. Do you think she was like literally roaming the Highlands, trying to find society, and then you came across upon her, or do you think she?
I think she heard songs of my songs, or my play, and then got interested in the group that was with this creature, and the fact that this group had also fought gods as well. We're famous,
unfortunately.
yes, and we're infamous.
Maddie is definitely more Kaladin, but now Kaladin's gone, so it's now only Maddie.
Yeah. Yeah, he started it.
Kaladin was the reason why this whole thing was supposed to. The whole Maddie deity thing,
Exactly.
demigod thing was supposed to be a fucking secret, and it wasn't supposed to be a secret for her. It was just supposed to be a secret for Eldath.
No,
it was just an Eldath secret,
sure
and then all of a sudden,
knew.
Okay, this is the second time Kid was playing as the PC. Maddie, your secret's out.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah, don't have secrets. Make them open. You can't have secrets.
I wasn't trying to. Well, the thing is, Caleb was having the secret.
Yeah.
Not Maddie, because Maddie didn't know fucking shit.
Yeah.
She didn't know shit, bro.
Well, don't have secrets then. Make your character open to discussion.
Not all the time.
No, you have to.
You don't do that.
Of course not.
So shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. But Duergar, so she was around, and so she was in Stonegar for maybe about 2 months.
We are definitely the talk of Orsterna in general.
So what did she do? Did she find a place? Did she have gold? We have to take that into account. She probably didn't have gold because she came from the Underdark. So when she got to Stoneguard, what did she do for work? Did she find a job? Did she not find a job? Did she have to steal for 2 months? Or what did she do?
Well, let's see. They can go invisible.
Oh, I know.
Everyone that they're
I'm
dealing
in love
with
with Duergar now, man.
Everyone that they're dealing with over there probably has no clue what she is and what she's capable of. So it's not like they have I know exactly what you're doing because I know Duergar's, bro.
No, they don't.
No, they can't metagame.
This is one of those things where with Faerun you can whatever. We're taking the you're metagaming out of this.
Yeah.
Because they're in the world. With certain races, when they asked, it was like, yeah, I know about. No, you don't, because you would have to know certain things about this the first time you come across it. That's why with Kaladin, I didn't describe it as like you see this tiefling that is running around in the woods. I described it as a humanoid creature with these bizarre horns.
Yeah.
And I think you should just in general do that. You don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can say tieflings.
Yeah.
You can say it, and you can do it that way. That's a way to do it. But I encourage you to describe the look. It's not easy, especially when you're running something like Icewind Dale. I am a victim of doing this at times because it's just like, how am I supposed to describe this shit?
Because I saw someone playing Pathfinder. This is just based on descripting. So this guy was playing Pathfinder, the newest one that is now in beta, and there was a creature. Let's call him, right? So it was a humanoid with 2 horns curled backwards, but they had gray scale all across their right arm. Now, he has no real defining race.
Right.
Because he's a mutated creature. So they just call everyone that is in this area mongrels. They have no defining race because they're all a mix and hybrid of different animal parts.
That's cool.
And human just kind of fused together, so they don't have a race.
That's actually dope.
Yeah.
I like that. It makes things more interesting when you go outside of the mold. Not to say this is a homebrew rule, right? If you just want to do a Faerun thing and you want to go buy the books, that is totally cool with me. You do you, man. But I encourage you, even when you're doing Faerun shit, that if there is something that is not established, or you're doing something that is not actual, like I'm gonna create something within Faerun, and you want a certain society, and you're just like, that doesn't make sense to Faerun status. You make it make sense because you want it to make sense. You don't have to. If your players are just like, well, technically, don't.
Well, you can say this is homebrew, and this is not a.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
this is not a book. I'm not reading a book. I'm reading my brain.
Well, technically, you can literally switch places with me, and I'll play a player character, and you can see how easy it is on this side.
Yeah.
You probably be like, what am I supposed to do immediately when you sit there?
Well, sorry, you have to figure it out. Just like we did.
Oh, you didn't know how to do that? You didn't know how to do that either? You didn't know how to do that? Wow.
And you beat him up. You always. That's how you end it. Really, you beat him up. But like I said, going back to Stormguard, they don't know what this creature does. This creature is allowed to just roll at this point.
Yep.
Most likely, they look at it as a weird colored dwarf because that's what they see. They see weird. They see dwarves. They see green dwarves.
They see weird.
They see light-skinned dwarves, but they've never seen like a pale gray dwarf.
Yeah, it's weird. Everything's getting a variation.
So now all they're thinking is like, yeah, this dwarf just has a skin condition.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like,
literally
the same thing. Is just like with humans, you got albinos, which that's a variation of a skin disease.
Exactly.
So it's beautiful and unique and makes you an insanely unique person. But to other people, some people are just like, what is that? And that's cool. Yeah. Immediately when you think, this is Caleb, sorry. I know I'm going off the button pack here. Immediately when you have people stopping and being like, wow, you are a unique, you stand out.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And you should embrace that. That's just Caleb talking.
So
okay, so
this girl goes around. At first, no one's rich in Orsterna.
No.
Let's really point that out.
No.
Unless you're in high society.
Yeah.
You're in high society. Most of the time, there's middle.
Even with 2 years and then adventures coming from Faerun.
Yeah.
There's not many adventures coming from Faerun because, let's be honest, right? Let's put it in this perspective. If you're looking at Faerun as... They understand what's in Faerun. They understand what they're dealing with. They understand that stuff. Orsterna already has its own monsters. They were already dealing with things. It just wasn't as crazy as Faerun was.
Yep.
So you mix Faerun monsters with Orsterna monsters. You got hell on earth, bro. It's cool.
Adventurers would be like, I don't want to deal with... You're telling me gods really fight over here? I've never seen a god before in my life.
You talking about demigods? Bro, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, because in Faerun, you're not dealing with gods constantly that are literally fighting in the streets.
And with season 2, we're introducing demigods. As you can see, Maddie was a demigod, but like
what?
It wasn't supposed to be like a big thing, but now it's a big thing in the story.
It's a big thing
because people made it a big thing. The party made it a big thing.
Who did that?
The party, not Caleb. Caleb was just like ignored. And then we had Chevy. God, you're a god? That's sick. That's cool.
Dope.
She's a god. She's a god. I'm not really a god.
Oh, Chevy would have been making he would have done plays about it too.
I know, which would be insanely annoying to her.
Oh yeah, I've done plays. So, I've made a good amount of money.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that they were successful, but you have done them.
Exactly. That's all that matters to me.
Regardless,
so yeah, she steals a little bit. She steals every now and then.
Did she? Yeah, only because she had to.
Exactly.
If she didn't have to, then that's the case. So she's a bit of a thief.
For the most part, it was mostly for food. You know, you find a stall, you turn invisible.
I mean,
take some food.
With ends, let's be honest, ends aren't really that much.
She literally can turn invisible, walk straight into an inn, grab a key while everyone's sleeping, take a little nap, put the key back before anyone wakes up. No one the wiser.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Sorry, my ADHD is really getting super hard, so I have to move my body sometimes.
I'm sure this is something that she would probably never just say.
Of course not. That's not obvious. She's here for a reason. She's not
what's
here
her
to
traits though? So
she's this is something we have to think about too. Positive, she's industrious, which makes sense.
So deceitful, okay.
Deceitful, which can work.
Exactly.
With that case. She's gullible, which we have to figure out how that works. And she's cooperative, which makes a whole bunch of sense. She's hardworking, which makes a whole bunch of sense. She's reckless, which makes a whole lot of sense with what you just said, with her being reckless and just deciding, hey, I have no other option. Let me do that. That's insanely reckless. Deceitful, because she would do that if necessary. She does what's necessary. Gullible, we have to figure out how that fits in. That's the only one that doesn't really fit, but that's okay. That's the whole point of us developing characters with these traits.
So she's gullible at first, it was what we can say. But then, so say for instance, she gets information, right? Mm-hmm. And so now she has this giant stack of info that she now has to sift through
to see if it's true.
Exactly.
So there's the old man that she spoke to for hours, who she's taking seriously.
Exactly.
She doesn't know that there's a bunch of random crazy old men. Because let's be honest, even if you're just no, not in my world, you're gonna have that one crazy old man because it's a stereotype where you're just gonna throw out of nowhere where it's just this old white dude that's wrinkled up and be like, I heard about that man who said that thing, and if you talk about it, hey, where you going? Where you going?
Goodbye.
I want to talk to you.
I know you do. I'll see you later.
You got
man.
go?
I'll see you later.
Go?
Brother, I'll see you later, man.
Okay.
You need to get out of here.
It's just a stereotype, man. I feel like it's when you find that situation and you find that use, you just use it. Regardless, she probably came across that person several times.
Exactly.
And was just after the second time, she was just never again, man. Yeah. You're terrible with information, and I will never come to you again. And that's probably she's gullible in the sense of this world. Because, man, she's heard about it.
Yep.
She's never really been in it.
Most of the things, you have books and references that she can just, dig through and pile through that she's also compiled herself. Say, for instance, she could be the next Volo, right? So she has a book, a Volo-type book. So Volo has his guide to monsters. Essentially speaking, Mordenkainen has his book, Tomb of Foes. She could have her own type of thing like that.
Saga's guide to Orsterna.
She could, honestly. It would make sense.
It would be fucking sick. Yeah, we could kind of go off that, which means we would have to... there's a lot of things we can think of. This is why NPCs are to be taken seriously at a certain degree. Some NPCs. Obviously, if you're looking just to have NPCs made just to... continue the story. You do the adventure, and that's all you do.
The quest giver.
That could be used that way. That's what that NPC was for. You weren't looking to make a backstory for him. He was just there to give you a quest. But if you're looking to have, like I said, next thing you know, that guy's gonna be. They're gonna be like, you're coming with us. What's your name? Where are you from? How are you doing things? Let's go with you. You're cool. Let's go. For some reason. All of a sudden, they roll a persuasion roll, and they're just like, I guess I'm coming with you because I trust you. And then all of a sudden, that's a bullshit thing that I'm saying, but they'll find a way.
It's just,
be like, hey, I'd rather throw your body in the mix than throw my own. Maybe that's the case. Either way, he's coming with you, and they want to know his story. Do you have it? No. So...
do you want to make it up on the fly right now? Not really.
So it's sometimes best to even have base information,
just footnotes. Just if anything.
Yeah, basically okay, let's see if, my father was an adventurer. I did not want to be an adventurer. Thank you for, I can at least learn from you, I think. All right, you have a knife to my back. Great.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I plunge it.
But At least you had something for him,
Exactly.
and they would remember. They'd be like, that guy whose father was an adventurer.
Was an adventurer.
They would say something like that in there.
Took an arrow to the knee and everything.
And even if that was the only thing that they said, that would be, hey, they got something.
Some type of substance.
Yeah, right? Even those small things they can remember, and it's cool. Some NPCs not important. But
So,
let's
she
continue.
stole,
Sorry.
she hid, she eventually started, let's say, writing small pieces or articles for cash. So, say for instance, like, once again, cryptozoology, right? So, say for instance, there was like, oh man, someone came and ate my doggies, right? So she then writes a piece about what's the creature lurking in the midst. And she writes fanfic, essentially speaking, because she just needs money. She's not thinking about it like, I'm taking this shit seriously right now.
Yeah.
She's thinking about it like, this is what the people want for whatever reason, because this is what they're into, because of the times that they're going through.
That would be so
They're
sick.
literally going through turmoil.
She can make bank. Saga can make bank if she actually thought about that.
Exactly.
Who knows? Right now she's just doing what she knows.
Because right now she's just feeding into what the people are going through. People are going through hell.
Oh man, when they first like interact with her, or maybe like they give her one of the eye stalks. By the way, I don't know if I want to make that canon still.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you know.
There's a chance that I might actually make that like a dream or something like that. I don't know yet.
Or behold a dream.
Like Forkai dreamed the whole entire thing.
Like a beholder dream.
Like a beholder gave him a warning sign or some shit like that. That'd be
Uh,
dope, right? I might actually do that.
That could be.
I think that would be cool because it was a one shot anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's something I might do. But let's just take this into account, right? In the future, if that isn't canon and they fight a beholder, let's say if they do, they take a beholder stock and they bring it to her, she's gonna know that. Well, there are Underdark variations of beholders. There are certain creatures in the Underdark that she's gonna know a shit ton about because that's where she's from. Not all beholders are from beholders are inherently from the Underdark. They're from a completely different place, the astral plane.
It's just easier for them to reside in the Underdark because they are huge, giant meatballs with a whole bunch of eyes, and it's very easy to spot them.
And when you start to get into beholder lore, you're getting to something insanely cool, but
which
complicated.
we'll do, and probably in another thing, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain's going over, and I love talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I could talk about it for hours.
No, we can't.
Okay, so I think we got her now. So let's write down the what and the why. Why? She heard stories. She heard Chevy's stories. They're plays, but I'm just gonna write them as stories right now. What?
Stories to everyone else, plays to me.
Who, where, when, what, and why. I mean, like the what is.
The what is she's the researcher.
The what is it? When we already have that up there.
Yeah.
Let's just put that again. Let's just put monster researcher maybe to make it even more descriptive.
Yeah.
And then we'll put it up here, copy, and then paste up here. And then there we go. We have our base important information. We also have the background for it. Even if this is all we get done today, which is not going to be the case, I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because that's progress, and it makes me feel good that we actually wrote that down, and I know this character.
Yeah, we can literally see her.
Yeah, and you can too. It does help with visual representation down here, but like also we can see her, and I'm sure if we're doing a good enough job at helping describe it, you guys can too.
You can also play with her hair while you're at it too. You guys can just pet her. Pet. She likes it.
Okay, before we move on to the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up another important NPC.
Who's it gonna be this
Who
time?
do you think it's gonna be?
I don't know, dude. You gotta tell me. I don't know because there's a lot of people we have. We have a lot of people.
He's our Rakshasha is the ambassador and chief diplomat, which is going to be we're gonna have to do a lot with this character, so I'm gonna go ahead and see where I put that note because I, for some reason, put it in 2 different spots because Caleb's ADHD does not agree with him half the time. Oh,
Yes,
God.
it does, dude.
Why did I do this?
It agrees to disagree with you.
I hate you for saying that. But you're right. Chief diplomat notes.
See, look at you. Look at you.
So, who, when, where, what, and why. Just in case I didn't mention this, this is the core, and it can have. This is the core to any character, even PCs, if you really want to do that. It helps when you answer these basic questions: who, when, where, what, and why. This is English and Writing 101, but it does help in this case as well because you're learning about a certain character that you're making. So, Sasha, that the Sky Orphans have befriended, named Pahut.
He's your Pahut.
So that's our hero. He is the Sky Orphans' chief diplomat. When? So, this is what we have to... we still have to establish who. The only traits that I have gotten with this Sasha at this moment is that he is, in order to kind of play into what fits for our players and what makes things fun, he's fat.
No.
I think a fat Sasha fits into to a character that you can imagine very quickly. It's a physical trait, even though he's projecting fatness, right?
Yeah.
There's no way for them really to be fat with the magic that's inside of him.
Yeah, definitely.
But he projects himself to be a big fat cat.
Does he come across as a tabaxi or Leonin?
That's what we need to determine. They can literally take up any form.
Exactly.
So if we want to, we can make him a fat dude, or a fat girl, or a fat anything.
Yeah.
We just determine what we imagine in our head. A fat cat's very easy, right? But we've done the fat cat stereotype, right? I believe you've done that, right?
I've done it. We haven't introduced it to the main party.
True. Do we want to though? That's the thing. Rakshasas are definitely a
It's like,
different
why
type of...
would you want to be friends with the Rakshasa in general? Because they are charming.
Yes.
That's
easy.
the reason why, generally. Mm-hmm. That's why people fall into the trap of befriending a Rakshasa.
Exactly. And opportunity strikes when opportunity strikes. Whether we determine if this Rakshasa is going to be evil or not is still to be up in the air. They are inherently bad guys.
Yes.
They're just inherently assholes. Which we can easily make this a bad guy eventually. But I don't know yet.
I mean, if
He's
anything.
playing a role.
So, what's his role in it?
He is a chief diplomat. So he is in charge. He is literally in charge of negotiations when we're not there. So he is like when no Sky Orphans are there and we're on the journey, which rarely happens, but it's going to happen in season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
He's there. He takes that role of talking and communicating all the notes and everything that needs to be communicated for Jade Fist and the Sky Orphans in general to the people that need to be communicated. He is literally just the communication master.
All right. So when did we meet him, though?
That's the thing. We still have to determine what he looks like. That's key before we even do that. I know that's going to be important, but we have to take it one step at a time. Do we just want to?
Let's actually just pull up races. Honestly.
Do you want to just do a generator?
Yeah. Honestly, why not?
Screw it.
Yeah. No, that'll be actually pretty interesting.
I'm okay with that. Tetracube, right? Tetracube. Yeah. I don't know how I remember that. Tetracube.com/character generator can help you when you have no idea what you want to do.
When you have no idea.
Which happens a lot, so I can understand why someone would want to do that. So, Unearthed Arcana right now is literally just vampires and shit, so we don't need to do that.
Wow.
Not to say that's not cool, but we don't need to do that.
Wow, good. I'm mad that you literally use Krull. Krull is already a character. That is.
Do we want to use a Torto though?
He could be.
It's weird because rock sashes don't always come off like they're not. There's different variations of rock sashes because not all rock sashes are like panthers or like tigers. I mean, because there's weird because there's some rock sashes that have like different humanoid faces.
Well, once again, this is based off of Indian mythos.
Well, yeah.
So this is not even D&D.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's literally based off of something that is already established
exactly.
in the Indian community.
The rock sashes, like the tiger forms, are just like that's the base form.
Exactly.
In D&D, weirdly, they've done a couple different variations, and one of those variations or more. I don't remember the name, the creatures because, literally, for me as Caleb, and I think for a lot of the D&D community, when you think of rock sash, you instantly think of the tiger.
Well, it's because we know 5e. We don't know anything before that. We haven't played any of the previous editions, so we only know 5e. Everything has spawned from, first edition AD&D to now. So everything is updated, essentially speaking, to what is in the current edition. It doesn't mean that that they can't look like their older editions.
True.
There's nothing
true,
that
true,
really
true.
says, just you can't do that.
It's all up to what you want to do. Dwarf is. I'm getting a strong Dwarf vibe as well, potentially. I might want to consider doing that. That sounds like fun. We'll keep looking though.
Lizard folk, interesting.
Oh, Asimar is so cool. Especially in this sense. Because I immediately think of, if you guys have ever played Avernus, spoiler.
Uh-oh. Spoiler warning. Did you hear that? Did you listen?
There is a creature in there.
Alright.
That takes a humanoid form that
No.
reminds me so much of an Asimar, even though it's not. He just takes a humanoid form. He's like a human merchant, but really he's a Rakshasa in disguise. So if they fuck with him, they're just finding a Rakshasa.
Oh yeah.
It's just cool. Halfling. Oh, Tiefling would be... Actually, I think we got it.
Are we making this dream team?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know.
There's... Okay, Tiefling's up there. It would be very high fetch for this party to maybe do a Tiefling. I'm thinking Hildorf still. I like Hildorf. Minotaur's so cool.
No, we have a Minotaur NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be weird. A centaur, lol.
Dragonborn's not a bad option.
Come on.
So we're looking at a lot of different options, and we'll know when we see.
Simic hybrid, pretty interesting. Velvikin. Yeah, we don't need another Velvikin. Goliath.
That's not bad.
The Goliath diplomat.
Loxodons are cool.
I think they can be diplomats. Yeah.
I could see a cool Loxodon potentially. We're gonna skip on the Tiefling idea. It's a good idea, but like the party would not be okay with Tieflings at this moment. They've had bad encounters with it, so I don't see it.
I don't know what you mean. I don't remember that actually.
If in a different world where the thing is, we have plenty of opportunities to introduce these races in good manners and bad manners. Unfortunately, I've had bad experiences with Tieflings, so it doesn't make sense. Turtle, I still see being a decent option. Dwarf is cool. Dwarf is
Furball.
Furball ain't bad. Asimar. So I'm in between Asimar and Dwarf. A dwarf, him using, because what they do is they project, they transform when they use like their changeling-like abilities. They transform into friends and allies.
Exactly. That's what they literally are for.
So we can easily just use a dwarf. Doesn't have to be a jade dwarf, just a normal dwarf. Yeah, let's just do that just because it makes sense with the Rakshasa War
Okay.
and him playing into Jade Fist. So we just make him a dwarf. So we'll just... He takes the form. Can you guys see that? Let me make sure. Yeah.
Is he gonna kind of clone Jade Fist's demeanor?
I don't know about that.
I don't know either.
Rock Sasha takes the form of a dwarf. Because unlike changelings, it doesn't say that they can't change size. Just
No,
weird.
they're Rock Sashas. They can do whatever the hell they want. They're OP.
They are ridiculously strong, and I love them. I think they're a great creature to use. Why am I having a hard time spelling dwarf? What the fuck? Okay, help my brain because I'm being. There we go.
There you go. You got this.
Yorf.
I mean, it could be spelled that way. You never know. In some other, plane of existence.
They could already, and the thing is, like, I can see this already being a thing where they already know he's a Rock Sasha. Potentially.
Yeah, I don't think that. Definitely, what would I say? Chris's character is an insta killer, so he's an insta killer.
You think he would kill him immediately?
He's an insta killer. He would have already killed him, or tried to.
He would have died.
He would have attempted. That's what I mean. He would have died. He would have attempted. I don't see Chris's character allowing him to live. He literally
Why?
he killed defenseless stone statues that were already.
Well, you
stone
can say that
statues.
about anybody then.
Yeah. There we go.
You can say that about the Durgar that we just made. Once he finds out about the terrible thing the terrible history behind Durgar,
Yeah.
we have to kill him. You can say that about anyone. So
So yeah, there we go. I mean, we already established. I don't think establishing that fact that we know it's a Rock Sasha would be good, because I think that it would just be too. Maddie would be on guard.
yeah, I think it's just safer.
He'd be on guard. Yeah, I think it's just.
I think Pahud would just. I think most likely his demeanor would most likely play into the fact that he knows he can trust these people. Whether we establish that's a good
really,
thing or a bad thing.
I would more than likely say that he knows he could defeat us if he needed to.
That too.
I don't think Rock Sashas don't have a need to trust anyone. If they're the most powerful thing.
That's weird.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the weird thing about
That's how-
the established lore behind them, is that they don't need anybody, but they have to be around people.
Yeah.
They want to be around people, and they don't want to be around people. It's strange. Because of the fact that they feel the need to strive and conquer, they have to
They
be.
always want to be
that.
on top. That's the thing. They want to be on the top of the food chain, and by being on top of the food chain, everyone else is below them.
And they surround themselves with people that they know they can trust. That's a thing, which is weird.
Once again, I don't feel like they know that they can trust them. Once again, I just feel like they know that if they ever perish, they come right back.
Well, that too.
That's a powerful feature in and of itself.
No, not necessarily
Yeah.
Rock Sasha. We're not talking about the Rock Sasha form, right? We're
No.
talking about the Rock Sasha itself. The Rock Sasha knows that they can trust the orphans. What I'm saying. For now, maybe something within them is telling them that I'm here for a reason. Whether it's a good or a bad one, I know it's going to help me out regardless.
Well, let's establish his other points before we get into.
I don't know. This is brainstorm.
Exactly. So I guess.
When?
When indeed. When would we need him?
We would have to establish the why before we establish the when, because we would have to.
Why would he come across us? What would his need to come to these, backwater people?
Okay, well, I have something potentially. Let's look at this land right here. He would have to have encounters with him being the leader and being a newly appointed one. He doesn't have to have encountered all of the region's leader, but making connections and talking with the leaders is important. So he's traveled to Marcelin, and there's a sultan there. We will have to establish a sultan at a later time, and we will do this in one of these streams again. But there's a sultan there, the sultan leader, whichever NPC we decide to make at that point, to establish connections and to establish just to have general leadership communications about what's going on, and just communication's sake, since it's right next door, they had a conversation, and maybe, just maybe, he was in a position of power. Not Sultan level, but he was in a higher ranking position at some point, maybe taking on a different form.
But in like what kind of area? Like what area? Like military information gathering?
That's a good question. That's what we need to figure out. This is just a brainstorm. It could literally not be this either. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad one?
Okay, so let's dive into that, right? So
Right.
he's the leader of an XYZ organization,
Okay.
right? Assassination organization, a mercenary group,
Well, they are.
a crusade group.
They're
There's multiple types.
really good with fucking mafia-like things. So mafia-type mentality. There's several different ways we can go with this.
I mean, he could have been a hitman for all we know.
Oh, dude, that might be a really fun way of going about it. This is just a hitman type of guy, and the thing about that is, why would a hitman now just be a chief diplomat? Maybe he was tired of being a hitman. Who knows?
Maybe he's cursed.
He's cursed with what?
Maybe his nature of, because like, what is his personality traits?
Yeah, that's we need to keep remembering this.
Caring.
That's the problem. He's actually got good traits, and like it's
Caring, caution,
empathetic.
I think this is his curse.
He's cursed to be a good guy.
Oh my god.
He can't. He's not a good hitman.
He's a good liar, but lying doesn't necessarily mean that you're a terrible human or a terrible Rakshasa.
Exactly.
I mean, that's probably the best that a terrible Rakshasa can be.
That's actually really cool that we have established these traits, because that actually makes it even more cool. Of making our unique Rakshasa and why he feels the need to help.
Okay, so he was on a mission to assassinate someone who he thought was just a normal witch that turned out to be a hag. And this turned out to be the most powerful of hags, which are the granny hags. So the granny hag, there's a hag, there's an aunt hag, and then there's a granny hag.
We're throwing the hag lore right now.
Yes. Alright, so he was sent on a mission to destroy a granny hag. He did not prepare himself for what this granny hag can do. So think Baba Yaga.
Oh god.
So Baba Yaga's house, you know Baba Yaga's huge house and her cauldron?
I know.
She had items on that level, if not higher.
Or we can maybe I like the path you're going. I don't want to veer off of it.
Yeah, so essentially it's not even that she had to really do anything. All he had to do was trespass upon her territory with the intention of harming her in order to activate or spring this trap.
Mm-hmm. And then
he already sprung it by just having the intent to kill. Because if you have that,
and a remove curse spell does not have any effect on this. It wouldn't have any effect on a Rakshasa anyway.
No.
Because Rakshasas can't get effect by remove curse, and you can't cast remove curse at a higher level. It's just remove curse.
And it probably has prerequisites that he can't even achieve because of his nature.
Because he's a Rakshasa.
Exactly.
Oh my god, most of these spells that could potentially help him were lower than 7th level!
Exactly.
That's wild!
So she actually made it a prerequisite that a Rakshasa can't even achieve. So, say for instance, most of the time, it's something simple like, okay, I use a wish spell, and that's it. That usually cures everything, but it has to be something lower than a wish spell. Which would be something like a remove curse or greater restoration, which he can't work on him. So therefore he's forever cursed.
Fucked.
Yes.
He's forever fucked. Alright? Well, he's not really fucked because this is just who he is now.
And literally what happened when he went there to go and kill her, they ended up having fucking tea because of his nature. His nature kicked in instantly. So all he did is end up having fucking tea with him.
And then learning about these new feelings.
Exactly.
And now he's just a good person.
Exactly. As good as a Rock Sasha can be.
Yeah,
he's still deceitful.
That's just Rock Sasha.
And he's still deceptive. So he still has that slight tinge of just like, his deceitful is like, I stole one cookie when I stole two. Type shit.
That's fucking cool. I like that.
So it's like that.
So now that we've established why he would be willing to do that, which is, there we go. Let me write it down. Caleb's ADHD is moving all over the place. And I was going to fix it tonight. Cursed by Hag. Cannot ever fix.
No, this is permanent.
This is permanent.
It's permanent.
It's you can't. It literally, even by D&D rules,
Mm-hmm.
if we're going by thing like, oh, you can remove a curse on anything. Nope, not on a Rock Sasha.
Not even a wish, because he made it so that it was a wish cannot do it. A wish cannot save him from this. But the crazy part is that he doesn't even want to fix it because of how carrying it. He's
just like, I actually like this now.
Exactly.
Even if I was just like, man, this sucks and I want to go back, I don't think I can ever do it.
Yeah.
Which makes an interesting character, for sure. Already interesting without us even establishing, like, his actual... it's really cool. If you want to, just give me 1 second. We gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, this dude's gotta use the bathroom, bros.
And then, I will be right back.
Yeah, this guy gotta use
You
the
can
bathroom.
figure out, like, if you want to talk about other things real quick, I'll be right back.
I don't know what to say. Sure, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about, but there's not a lot to talk about at the same exact time, you know what I'm saying? So, how many guys are excited for the new the Candlekeeper Adventures books? Because honestly, when those come out, we're most likely going to be showcasing a little bit, just like how we showcased the Icewind Dale and more along the lines of the, what was it called? Tasha's book. So we'll most likely go into depth into that book as well. And if they, happen to have subclasses in it or anything like that, I don't think it's player-centric related. Because most of the books that have come out recently have been, aside from Icewind Dale, there's been lots of just player-centric books that have been coming out. Hopefully they're just more DM-centric and more DM ruling and DM guides, because I really loved how Tasha did their unique optionals all over the place, up and down and left and right and center. Of course, you always gotta have left, right, and center whenever you're dealing with optionals, because you can never have too much optionals. And so I think that'll be very cool and unique also. And I'm just wondering, like, if it's going to just be a series of literal books instead of a book, like you're not actually playing the adventure, but you're playing out a book adventure. So like a read your own book adventure out loud, basically, where it's like what's actually happening is the storyteller's just flipping to another page in the actual book, and they're reading off of this because when you did this section, you decided to go into the dragon's lair instead of avoiding the dragon, and so now it's like you're just flipping to this next page and you're just reading that section out over there, and that's how you're playing it out. That'd be really dope. And also, of course, while we're at it, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go right ahead. I'm going to give you like at least 5 to 10 seconds-ish, around there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you hit the subscribe button? Did you like? Did you comment? I'm sure you have because, you know, you guys love us, right?
1 second.
One more second. There you go. One more second and one more second. What's that?
Alright. I was looking and I found a perfect one.
Oh, some hentai?
Yeah, that's what
So we found some hentai and
for
it's
you
really
and for me.
for you and for me hentai, which is new, honestly. I've never had shareable hentai. Is this hentai you share with your friends?
No.
So why is it for you and me then?
We got separate ones.
So it's like, this is the same hentai, or is it like,
I wish.
whoa. I'm You're confusing me, buddy.
Good.
Great. So now that I'm confused, essentially speaking, you know, honestly, like I said, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, those words.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Those words.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, whatever those words are.
Like, comment, subscribe.
He's using words again.
What? What'd you say, friend?
Okay, found it.
What'd you say, friend?
Since we're establishing him as a dwarf.
It's just gonna be nothing but dwarves in here, huh?
I mean, like, it makes sense. Not nothing but dwarves, but like
We
these.
have nothing but dwarves, guys. Nothing but dwarves. It's gonna be called the Dwarven Society instead. The Jade Dwarf Society. Brought to you by dwarves. Made by dwarves.
His fucking eyebrows make me laugh. I like it.
Damn, dude. Why you gotta laugh at his eyebrows? What did he do to you? I'm sorry. This guy's being very rude.
Apologies.
Yeah, I'm not really encouraged by this behavior that you're having right now.
Apologies. No, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace. Oh, you know, that's actually really easy.
What?
I saw an image.
You saw the image.
And I went to properties, browse, and then simply as that, I should be able to replace it. Boom!
Ooh, look at that. Wow. That's the boy?
Yep.
That's the boy?
That's what he's gonna look like. That's gonna be our Sasha using his form to fit in with the Sky Orphans.
What you doing there? Am I looking at him?
Yeah, you are actually.
Oh my god, it's creepy. He knew it.
We're gonna switch things up with the pixel side as well.
Oh, wow. That's
we'll
intense.
take Forkai off and we'll put a little Maddie up there. And then we'll take Jade Fist off and then we're gonna put a little bit of, let's see, Giovanni. And then boom, you get some more pixel art.
Yeah, look at that. Where else can you find such entertainment as this that you bring in? Come
you
on.
see all the characters? There's so many characters on the screen.
So many characters.
This is literally our Dungeons and Dragons, though. This is our
What?
characters.
Are you being for real right now, Kato?
This is really great.
Are you
It's really cool to see all of it, though.
No, it's not, Kato. What do you mean? Stop lying.
So yeah, this is what he'll look like. He's got little braids on the top of his hair. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do with all this hair, just in general. He's used to it being all over his body, so it being just on top of his head and.
I mean, this is probably not his first rodeo.
No, but at the same time, doesn't mean he's good at it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it's a little bit messy at points. But after a while, he just kind of like, fuck it. I'm just gonna braid it up and be done with it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, this one has blonde hair. Not uncommon, just people don't like it to do it.
Oh, they
this
don't
way.
like it?
Or is it? I don't really see many dwarves with blonde hair. Not to say that there isn't, because they can have any hair color just like any other human.
Exactly.
It's just this one has blonde hair, and I was just like, okay, we'll go with this one.
I guess Chevy doesn't like it either. Push him around, tell him what's what, slap him a bit.
It's the only time we're actually going to be able to do it. If you try it in game, oh,
remember, he can't be mean.
No.
Yep. Curses suck.
He can be.
Curses suck.
It's just there's going to be repercussions if he does.
20d6 thunder damage.
It's going to be something like intelligence-wise, if you ask me, like psychic damage, if he ever goes like against that shit. But regardless, I just see it like more like not.
I don't think there's any. I don't think he would have any repercussions. Just more like it just doesn't. You can't really do it, or like you can't do it often. Maybe either one. I don't know. That was up to you, I guess, as far as that goes. Oh my God, what are you doing to him?
I killed him.
No, you can't. You used a first level spell. Honestly,
True.
yeah,
Fuck.
doesn't work like that.
How many times?
Doesn't
Wait,
work
what?
like that.
The fuck am I looking at?
Are you looking at a clone of it somehow?
What the fuck? Yeah, OBS was freaking out, I guess, a little bit. That was
Yeah.
weird.
That
I was like, I know I didn't take a screenshot or anything like that.
It looked like
Like I
it.
was having trouble pulling up the notes.
The screeny weenie.
Alright, so when did this happen? This is still within the next few months, so maybe around like the first few days that the Everhold was officially established. So,
Okay, why would we come across him? I guess.
what are we still saying the diplomat thing? Would he be in Marcelin when he was going to visit the thing, or are we going with something else?
Okay, so he was sent as an assassin. He was sent to take out this the hag.
Mm-hmm.
Hag placed a curse around the place. It triggered. They had tea.
Yeah, and then what did he do after that? So we would have to establish if he was in some sort of, with his
So
booming personality, did he manage to get a position of power, or is he just some random
not even
charismatic
that.
person?
So let's bring it back to was there any repercussions for not following through with the mission? Because he essentially failed, right? So
Okay, well then he probably
since he is still able to be deceitful, did he just lie his way through? And now she has a home somewhere else, maybe, or something like that, and now she gets to live out her life without being targeted by him specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Did, huh? Yeah. Okay. So then, did that have repercussions? That's pretty much it. Was there any repercussions? Did he just kind of change form, and therefore he didn't have to deal with any
I
repercussions?
think that's what happened. When you're able to do that,
Exactly.
it makes things a lot easier for
It
you.
literally does. Are they looking for him still?
There's a chance. We can establish that.
Is he hiding out with us then, in guise of being our our diplomat?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. So, were we having? Was he a notable person then? Did he come to town kind of bolstering, or did he start from the ground up and just kind of built a reputation for himself?
I think he built a reputation.
So he was just basically kind of like a peace giver, since he has this curse, established and whatnot.
So yeah, he was like, it's so close.
Mhm.
It's just so close to being a politician. It's not even funny. So he could have like managed to become a politician somehow. I don't know. The politicians in D&D are just like they're so like.
Yeah, because when you have demons, politics definitely take a left turn.
Yep.
Okay, so he solved issues on a smaller scale due to his influence, due to his charm, due to his personality, his natural charisma. So kind of charmed the pants off of everyone because he is who he is. He's a charmer.
So we can even go even further with
He
this.
used fucking spells. Like he could use spells. We can literally.
We can even go further with it
damn.
and say that he specifically was helping orphans as well, which would give him reason to want to join a group or help out a group called the Sky Orphans. Maybe he grew attached to them somehow, or just maybe they were the ones that he ended up helping first. Who knows?
I think it'd be too convenient just to make everything orphan.
Well, it's not all orphan. It's just, I'm not saying we can do that. It's just, it's convenient, you say?
Yeah.
Or so you're saying take an easy way out?
No, I'm just saying this be like two like.
Oh, take an
yeah.
easy way out. Huh?
I mean, that's how you look at
That's
it.
how you were saying it, though.
But that's how you look at it.
Sure. What? Continue what you were saying. What were you saying?
So yeah, like I was saying, he could, yeah, like you said, fuck you, yeah, that's really what I was doing. Like I said, he could have just been a small scale, you know, essentially negotiator for people. He could have, you know, say for instance, they came to him with an issue, he solved it with words or with spells. He literally has spells that he can cast.
Okay.
He uses spells. He uses charm persons. He uses modify memories. He could use things like that in order to help people. Say, for instance, someone had trauma. Like, literally trauma. Like,
A psychiatrist?
could be. Who knows?
We need to establish.
I mean, well, what else could be? Because there's a lot of things we could do. He's...
Therapist.
We don't know about therapist specifically.
That's really funny, though. That's what gave me a giggle. I'm just being. When we get into those little things, just like, yeah, I was a therapist before I became a chief diplomat.
I mean, what would we look for in a chief diplomat?
I
Then?
don't fucking know. No, you're right. I'm not saying that he wasn't good at talking. I'm just being. It's funny. That's it. Continue what you were saying, I guess.
I mean, that's pretty much the track I was going. Not a therapist, but a problem solver.
He's a good therapist, dude. Therapists are problem solvers. Just specific problem solvers.
Yeah, very specific.
So how did we come across a problem solver?
Maybe we had a problem and he solved it.
So, and he's hiding out with us because he's just like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Even though if he actually like thought about it, he could probably kill everyone.
He doesn't want to though.
He doesn't want to kill everyone.
He doesn't want to kill everyone.
I know.
He doesn't want to kill everyone.
That's because the mafia's after.
Yeah.
The mafia gonna get him.
Gonna cut him.
Gonna get
You're
him.
gonna cut him.
Let's just say 2 months. Where? Oh, we actually have a where. Marceline. That's a weird name. Marceline. Yeah.
No, this is your game, Caleb.
Marceline. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What? That's the one thing. That's just one thing. Dwarf. Fox, Sasha. Chief Diplomat.
Yeah.
It's weird putting it like that, but that's what it is. Diplomat. And yeah. I mean, I could see him. Definitely unique as fuck, I guess.
Yeah, that's a unique one right there, indeed.
And he's on the screen for you guys. He's right there.
Oh my god, that's him?
That's a rock
That's the
Sasha.
guy whose head you almost squished like a grate earlier. Oh my god, you're bludgeoning him. Don't pretend like you're his friend now. Did you try to bludgeon him to death?
He's mine.
Tried to bludgeon him to death, Caleb. That's messed up, bro.
You're messed up, bro.
I know. Thank you. I try to be.
No, you
messed
don't.
up. Yes, I do. Don't tell me what I don't do. What I do.
Alright.
You just bite him? What the hell?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I did this. He wasn't there.
You trying to bite him, bro?
I'm not trying to bite no
You
one.
try to bite him, bro.
Boom, boom.
You trying to bite him, bro? Who's over there, bro? Who's over there?
No.
Who's over there?
Yo, mama.
Why's my mother over there? What's she
Yeah, it's
doing?
your mother. You'd find out.
What's she doing over there, bro? She playing games? She playing games, bro?
Done. I forgot we have a Loxodon already. Frick.
Yeah, see?
Fake.
You gotta go back to the notes, brother.
Fake.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
I thought
Like
that
the
was funny.
Pokemon.
I am you too.
You too.
I am you.
Too.
My name is you.
You too. You gotta change the researcher name to Saga, bro.
Shut up.
You gotta remember that. Saga! Saga! You good, bro? You good, bro? You want something, bro?
Alrighty then. Oh yes. Ouija time. Ouija time.
What's Ouija time? What's Ouija time?
Ouija time. Oh yeah. Ouija time.
What's Ouija time? What's Ouija time? Who's?
Oh yeah. Ouija time.
What's he doing? What's he doing this time?
What's he doing?
What's he doing this
What's he
time?
doing?
What's he doing? What the homie doing? What the
That's a lot. We've actually did a lot there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's what we did.
And the Warforged Barkeeping, it's gonna be on them.
Yeah, that's their thing. Yeah, that's their thing, bro. We don't gotta worry about that part, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. That's a good thing, huh?
Actually, some of these we don't really have to.
Yeah, bro. Just never look at it again.
Sure.
Never look at it again, bro. I'm sorry, sir.
Who? Who you calling sir? You? You? Yes, sir. You. You ain't looking in the mirror then.
I'm not. I never look at it.
Oh!
What the hell? Dude, what happened to that, bro?
That's what happens when you got that coming your direction, son.
What is that exactly? Can you explain what that
This.
is? You can get this.
This. That's
You
what
can
I'm referring
get
to.
this.
Bitch. This.
You can get this. Whoa. What the heck? That was a little bit too much, sir.
You farted. And I don't like that.
No, I went like I slapped myself real hard.
You did that.
Yes, I did slap myself real hard.
It's really weird.
Oh my god.
You are
I don't
weird.
want
That's
to
right.
hear it. Tired of that.
I think that's actually enough, to be honest. I think that was good.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't already liked, comment, and subscribed, then you should.
Alright. I mean, like, that was a lot. I didn't realize that in our... Like, it doesn't feel like a long time when we're doing it. But, yeah, that was a couple hours. And that was just for 2 characters.
Yeah, and
Which shows you, like...
What?
When you're playing PCs, right? When you're playing your player characters, you go into all these different details. With NPCs, we sometimes have to do the same thing. So when you randomly are just like, I'm gonna beat his ass, and you saw the amount of time we did this, right? Be my guest and do what you want in Dungeons and Dragons, but please,
I kill him.
don't
I
just
kill him.
kill the NPCs
I
all the
kill him.
time. And if you do want to,
I stab him in the throat.
have a good reason, or just be like, my character would do this. Either way, at least have a reason.
Punch him in the butthole.
DMs, a lot of DMs, not every DM. Some DMs just kind of like, they don't care to do it and they're okay with that. But most DMs prefer you not to just randomly kill the NPCs that they took 2 hours out of their day to make.
Or more.
Yeah, some of them are very complicated.
Yeah.
And some of them get too complicated, and that's complicated. So, remember, we're working on a lot of different things on Sky Orphans. We'll have several different streams on this. I don't know if I'm going to be posting it on the AC2I channel or my channel. I'm still figuring that out personally. But when they do post, you'll know. Most likely going to be on the AC2 High channel. But that is up to you. Sorry, my brain's going everywhere. ADHD. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps. Anything helps. Honestly, we're working our behinds off on making some good stories or making some NPCs, and hopefully it translates into digital format for your viewing entertainment.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for tuning in and watching this, if you're watching in the stream or if you're watching via YouTube. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.
And don't forget, eat some pineapples.
Pineapples.
Eat some pineapples, bro.